Today we'll be baking the East Indian Thali cake. The Thali cake has got its name as it's baked in a flat thali rather than a cake tin. This is a very old traditional recipe that I'll be sharing with you today. Thali cake is usually made of Rawa or Semolina, egg whites, fresh coconut, sugar and butter. You will get the recipe in the description box below. So let's start. To begin with, I'll take one medium-sized coconut which is scraped and taken only the white parts, and I'll just run it in the mixer, not grind it very fine, just coarsely ground, a little bit thicker type. So here it is. In a mixing bowl, I'll take half a cup room temperature butter, that is approximate 110 grams. And I'll be adding 2 cups of powdered sugar, with the help of an electric beater. I will just mix both the ingredients till they both are combined well. You can also use a hand whisk here. This is definitely not going to get creamy texture, so we'll be adding milk to it to make the sugar dissolve faster. In the olden days, the sugar and the butter were mixed with the hand and rubbed in a large thali till the sugar was completely melted. However, to make things easier, I'm adding half a cup of milk, and this will help the sugar to dissolve faster. We will now beat this up till the sugar is completely melted, and gradually we'll get a nice smooth texture. I'll be baking this thali cake in the oven as well as over the gas stove. It's almost a minute now, and you can see the creamy texture of the milk, butter and sugar. We will stop now and just scrape the bowl once. Now I'll be adding 2 cups of Semolina, Rawa, also called as Suji, and also be adding the ground coconut. This is the fresh coconut which we had ground in the mixie jar. To this I'll be adding half a teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon rose essence. Give it a quick stir. If you have used unsalted butter, you could add a pinch of salt here. I have used salted butter, so I have not added salt now. This traditional thali cake is so easy to make now. So why wait for special occasions or Christmas? Make it whenever you feel like having any coconut cake. With the help of a spatula, I have just mixed all the ingredients together, and I'll just run the beater for a few seconds till all the ingredients are well combined. This is it. We do not have to beat it more. Scrape the bowl once more, and now we will let this mixture rest overnight. I am mixing this cake. It's late evening. If you do not wish to keep it overnight, at least keep it for 4 to 5 hours so that the rava gets soaked and gets fluffy. I'll cover and keep this at room temperature overnight, and the next morning we'll whip up the egg whites and add it to the batter and then bake them. Now the next morning I'll be greasing 2 7-inch thali. These are the traditional thalis which I use for baking this thali cake. If you do not have it, you can use a regular cake tin. This is also one of the traditional old pans. So I'll be using a little butter and then dusting with some flour. Traditionally, this cake used to be baked in a much bigger thalis, but these tins do not have a height. They just have a maximum of 1.5 or 2 inches in height. I have just finished greasing them with butter and dusting some flour or maida over it. Just tap the thali so that the greased butter gets coated well with the maida. This will help in rooming the cake out from the thali once it's baked. You could also use butter paper to line the thalis. Dust off the extra maida and our thali is ready for the batter to go in. This East Indian thali cake is a favorite of every East Indians and a must for every Christmas and occasions. Usually they were made during weddings in the olden days. So both the cake pans are ready, and now let's keep them aside for some time and whip up the egg whites. I have taken 5 room temperature regular eggs, and I'll be separating the egg yolk and using only the egg white for this cake. These are 5 egg whites, and using a regular beater, I'll be whipping it up to a nice soft peak. If you do not have a beater, you can always use a hand whisk and whip it up till you get a nice soft peak. This is the soft peak what we need. And now let's check on to the cake batter which we had prepared last night. I'll just mix this, and you can see the Rawa has got nice and fluffy. It has soaked in all the liquids. Though it is dry, we'll be adding the egg whites and the batter will be nice and flowy. I'll be adding the egg whites in 3 batches, and using a spatula, I will gently fold it in to the batter. Do leave a comment below if you have made a thali cake before and what you liked most about it. I would love to know the various methods of making this thali cake. I'm sure there are lots of varieties of recipes to make this thali cake, and each recipe is unique. So now I have lastly added all the egg whites, and now you can see the cake batter is getting nice and moist. I'll be just using a spatula a few times, and then I'll use the hand beater and mix it all once for a few seconds. After adding the egg whites, we do not have to overbeat the batter. Just a few seconds is enough just to get all the ingredients well combined. And now this is done, I'll scrape the bowl once and fill the cake tins. So this is how the consistency of the batter should be. I'm filling the 7 inches cake thali first. I will show you how easy it is to bake this thali cake over a gas stove too. The results are surprisingly much better than the ones which are baked in the oven. After pouring the batter into the tin, with the help of a spatula, just try and make the top as smooth as you can. Once done, just tap it a few seconds and we'll fill the next tin and then show you how to bake this. Fill the second pan too in the same way. So while baking this cake in the oven, you need to preheat your oven at 170 degrees centigrade for at least 10 minutes before. So this cake will be baked in the oven at 170 degrees centigrade for 25 to 30 minutes, or inserted screwer comes out clean. And for baking the cake in a vessel or a kadai, heat the vessel or the kadai for 10 minutes before adding the cake into it. I have used some sea sand over here and put a ring stand over it. Place the cake tin carefully onto the stand and cover it with a lid. Now bake this on medium to low flame for around 40 to 45 minutes. Approximate after 45 minutes, you can see that the cake has got a slight brown on the edges, and also the toothpick has come out clean. I will let the cake remain here and let it cool till I am able to handle it and remove it out. This is the cake which is baked in the oven, and that too is being done. You can see how well both the cakes are baked, but I definitely love the one which is baked in the large vessel. Once the cake is fully cooled out, I'll just run a knife all round the cake. The white dust is the maida what we had used for dusting the cake pan. Add a plate over it and flip it over. Tap it and release the cake gently. Using the palm of your hand, flip the cake over again, and our delicious thali cake is ready to be served. This was the oven baked thali cake. And now let's cut the one which was baked in the vessel. The cake has already left the sides of the thali, just running a knife through so we can cut out the cake easily. Traditionally, thali cakes were always cut in a diamond shape. So here too I'll be cutting long strips and then giving a diamond shape to them. This is my mom's favorite thali cake, and I thought of sharing this recipe with you all. This thali cake is really very delicious, and I love the nutty flavor of the fresh coconut. Do try it out, and I'm sure you're going to like it too. Don't wait for Christmas or any special occasions. Just if you feel like having a coconut cake, do try this East Indian thali cake. After slicing the cake, you can keep it at room temperature for 3 to 4 days. After that, you can transfer it into an airtight box and keep it in the fridge. Oh, look at these gorgeous, delicious coconut diamonds. They are so well baked without the oven too. So go bake this cake immediately even if you do not have an oven. It's so easy to bake them now. Thanks for watching till here, and for more such delicious recipe, do subscribe to Garfin's Creation. Until we meet again, take care, bye-bye.